Good evening, believers. How are you doing today? This is Love Coach Dasha coming to you today for the Healing Hour Live. Now, if you have never been with me before for this, let me tell you a little bit about what I do and who I am. I am a love coach for women who want to stay and reconcile after infidelity. You have been cheated on, but you still love him. He's still your person. He's still the one that just makes your heart beat real fast. You really want to work things out. You are not happy that the only choice seems to be to leave. You are thinking that there's got to be another way. There's got to be a way for you to work this out. There's got to be a way for you to stay. And I am here because I know the way. I am a survivor of infidelity myself with my husband, and we are 17 years past it. Okay. We are past me looking at his phone, me freaking out about everything that he does, me not trusting him. We are 17 years past that. I am speaking to you from your future. It is absolutely possible for you to do this too, for you to get to a place where you feel like, okay, I've got it. I feel, yes, we had a hard time. Yes, we had a rough patch there for a minute, but we are back on track. We are loving each other. We are wanting to be with each other, and we are doing it. I am here to tell you that you can do that. I am living it right this second. So I want to tell you everything that I've learned about it, okay? And I always start with the basics, okay? I need you all to really, really practice these things. These things I'm going to tell you for the next little bit here, these are the things that are key, that are crucial. If you are doing these things on a regular basis, you are going to start to heal, whether he is involved or not, whether he's doing the right thing, whether you are mad about how he is participating, it does not matter. You do these things, you start changing your reaction to this trauma, because that's what it is, right? If we just treat this like what it is, which is a trauma, and start to heal it from that perspective, we're going to do a lot better and a lot faster. All right. And we want to do it fast. I want you to start doing these things that I'm going to tell you like now, not later. Right this minute, start what I'm telling you right now, because the sooner you do it, the more effect it's going to have on your brain. But if you wait, if you keep on waiting, if you keep on waiting for something, I don't know what you'd be waiting for. You could be waiting for him to do the thing. You could be waiting for you to feel a certain way. I am here to tell you to get yourself out of the pain that you're in and try and get yourself back on track. You have to take control of this trauma and start acting upon this now. Okay? We cannot wait. We cannot do it. All right? So, the things that I'm going to tell you, these are the practices. That's what I actually call them. I don't think I've ever told y'all that. In my head, that's what I call them, is the practices. I want you to do these things that I'm going to tell you about on a consistent basis, because each and every one of them is going to help mitigate some form of the trauma. All right. So, for the very first thing, I need you to do your deep breathing. Okay. That's the very first of the practices. I need you to jump on that. Do your deep breathing. Stop waiting. Stop saying, oh, I'll do it later, and start doing it now. And not only now, 5 times a day. Okay. Consistently. I need you to jump on this. Okay. If you are doing this on a regular basis, if you are regularly taking a moment for yourself, doing a little self-care, and doing your deep breathing, you are doing wonders for your brain after this trauma. Because when you are traumatized, when you're in the fight or flight state, your body takes over. All right. That is what the problem is. Our bodies take over automatically. Our brains start doing things automatically. And we feel like we're at the mercy of those feelings. We don't have to be at the mercy of those feelings anymore. There's Nana. Huh? That's my mama. Hey, I see you over there on Instagram. All right, but you got to do your deep breathing. If you are doing this 5 times a day, first thing in the morning when you wake up, before you put foot to the floor, do your deep breathing. Take a moment to center yourself. Give yourself that little bit of care first thing. Then maybe around lunch, then around midday, then the evening when you're getting home. It's great for traffic. Do some deep breathing while you're in traffic. And before you get ready to go to bed at night, it's a practice that will put you to sleep. If you are doing your deep breathing the way that I'm about to teach you right now, it's like 3 times you do it in a row and you're asleep. All right. I can do it right now. If I laid down and closed my eyes and did this 2 times in a row, I'm gonna be asleep. So if you are doing it on a regular basis, you are fighting against what your body does when you are traumatized. When you are traumatized, your body goes into fight or flight without you even realizing why. So you are having your heart race and your chest is tight and it feels like something is clenching in your throat and your head is pounding. All of these things are the physical signs of you getting adrenaline poured into your system and your body taking over that fight or flight response. So if we are doing slow, deep breathing, we're doing the opposite breathing that we do when we're freaking out. You know how it is. You keep on hyperventilating. But if you slow that down on purpose, you tell your body, you tell your brain that you are safe. You tell your body and your brain that everything is all right. There is no danger here. I am okay. All right. So if you're doing that on a consistent basis, you are constantly telling your brain that. So when it does want to run away with you, you are always bringing it right back down, bringing it back down to a level that you can manage it. And then it helps you throughout the day. Okay. So we're going to do our deep breathing together. Now, I do 4-7-8 breathing. You can do whatever breathing you please as long as you're doing it, okay? You can pick whatever pattern, do a YouTube video. I don't care as long as you are doing your deep breathing. However, I got this same thing over on my YouTube. So come on over to my Love Coach Dasha YouTube and subscribe over there and go ahead and start here and breathe is what it says. Go ahead and do that. And you can have that day in and day out. Just go through it. But we're going to do it here today. We're only going to do it 3 times for the sake of time for the live. But it is effective even in 3 times. All right. So first thing we're going to do is blow out. And you're going to blow like you're blowing out a whole cake full of birthday candles because you want to exhale any excess carbon dioxide, get some space in your lungs for the new oxygen that we're about to put in there. All right. Then we are going to inhale for a count of 4. We're going to hold that breath for a count of 7. You got to let your body use the oxygen that you just put in. And then we are going to blow out for a count of 8. All right. We're going to do it 3 times. Join me. Why don't you? First things first, blow out. Make the noise. Inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Beautiful. How do you feel when you are doing the deep breathing? Put it in the comments. Let me know what's going on with you when you do the deep breathing. How does it feel inside your body? We've got to start paying real close attention to what our bodies are doing because that will tip us off to when we are triggered, to when we are freaking out. And we don't even know it yet because our bodies know before our brains understand. Okay? So put it in the comments if you're here with me now or you're on the replay. Let me know. Give me some likes. Give me some love. Let me know that you love me so that the algorithm knows that you love me. Okay? All right. Second thing that we are always going to talk about every time we get together, the second of the practices, I need you to start doing your journaling. Hey, now, look. We have been talking about this for years, haven't we? Women have been told for years and years to go ahead and journal, and you haven't been journaling. I need you to journal. I need you to sit down with your journal 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening. That's all I am asking you to do. I am not asking you to fill out a book. I am not asking you to write page after page after page. I don't want you to do that. When you sit there and your hand cramps up because you were sitting there writing so much, you're not going to want to do it. But if you only are going to take 5 minutes and write down your thoughts, it's going to be the things that come up to the surface, the things that are like the most important in the moment. That's what you're going to write down. Now, you can journal during the rest of the day if there's some feelings you want to get out. You don't want to necessarily talk to your honey. You want to put them down in your journal. That is excellent. Go ahead and do that. But make it a practice first thing in the morning and right before you go to bed to empty out those thoughts. Get the stuff that's bubbling up to the surface down on paper so that your brain knows that you think that this is important. This is important information. You know for sure it's important information because your brain is focused on it. It is right up there on the surface. So write that down. Let your brain know, hey, I understand. This is important to you. I get it. I will be thinking on this. I will muse upon it. You give me any ideas that you want to give me about it, brain. We're going to think about it, but I am not going to let it ruin my day. I'm not going to let it ruin my night's sleep. All right. At night, a very good thing to do is write in your journal about something that's bothering you, a problem that you're having. Write it down in your journal and then tell your brain, like, make it do something. Assign the employee a job and tell your brain to work on the problem while you're asleep because you need to sleep. You got to rest. But your unconscious can be working on that all night long if it likes. It can stay up and party if it wants to. So you will be able to work that out tomorrow morning. Your brain will come back and be like, hey, I came up with a solution to that problem, boss. Great. Now we have a solution. All right. When you're journaling, I want you to do a couple of things. I need you to do your date, your time, and your level of anxiety. Now, your date and your time are so that you have a good idea about when things are happening. You will find if you're journaling consistently in the morning and the evening, there are some things that come to you in the morning, some things that always come to you in the evening. You will find patterns in just doing it twice a day. But if you add in a couple other times, whenever you're feeling like it, you'll discover patterns in that too. So your date and your time to let you know exactly when this is happening, when in the day this is going on for you. It will let you know that, okay, I might have problems first thing in the morning, or I might have problems in the evening before I'm going to bed. All right. It'll give you a chance to be warned about that. And so then you can make a plan for it. You can decide what you're going to do about these times when you're having a hard time. Then we need to put a fence around these feelings. We need to have these feelings corralled a little bit and let us know that they can only get so big. So the feelings can go from 0 to 10. Your anxiety level could be a 0. It could be great. All is right with the world. Write that down. Your brain will try and make you think that nothing ever goes right when you're traumatized, when you're hurt, when you're stressed. It will try and tell you that nothing ever goes right in your life. Your life has been always terrible all the time. And anytime you thought it was good, that was just a delusion. All right. Now, we know that that's not true, but in the midst of these feelings, and when your body is responding like you're in danger, it feels true. So let's not believe that. Let's write down the days where it's a 0, where you're feeling excellent, when things are going well. So you remember that happened. Put a big old star in the corner of those pages so you can just flip through your journal and be like, oh, hey, look at all the star days that I had. I had really good days. A 0, a 1, excellent feeling. Then we've got a 10. A 10 is an absolute loss of control. A 10 is I'm going to rip my hair out, tear my clothes off, run screaming down the street naked. Okay? I don't care anymore. I have lost it. I have lost my grip, my control, my marbles, whatever you want to call it. At that time, I do not have control over myself. All right? That is pretty extreme. Most people aren't at a 10 even when they think they're at a 10. You're probably throwing things if you're at a 10. Your neighbors are calling. Your neighbors are banging on the wall when you're at a 10. You know what I'm saying? They might call the police on you at a 10. All right. We have lost control of ourselves. That's as big as the monster can get. That is as huge as it can get, just making you lose control over yourself. And that can't last forever. Okay. So once we get back to a 9, we can rein it in, bring it on back down to 8, pull it. Work on whatever we need to do. Do our deep breathing, do our journaling, do our other practices. You can do it. All right. You can bring yourself back down. You don't want to stay at a 10 for a very long period of time, but it's hard to stay at a 10 for a long period of time because it's such of a loss of control. Eventually, you kind of snap back into it. Okay. Write those things down, write your level of anxiety before you do your journaling, and then right after you do your journaling, you will discover that it helped you. All right. Very, very simple 5-minute thing that will automatically help you bring it down a notch. Isn't that a good thing? Wouldn't you want that? Just something you can do immediately and it brings it down? Yeah, do that. Okay. All right. The next of the practices that I'm always going to tell you about, number 3, I need you to develop an attitude of gratitude. Okay. I know that's hard at this point. I know when you are sad and when you are betrayed and you are afraid and it feels like somebody is out to get you, the person you love the most is out to get you. I get it, but it is important for you in those moments to find the gratitude, to find the good thing in this bad thing, because there is always something. There's always something. If you look good enough around your life, you can find things to be grateful for. Okay. It is without a doubt, without question, you could find it, but you have to be looking. You have to be training your brain that in these moments where we are really stressed out and things are going wrong, I'm going to look for the positive. I am going to look for the thing that makes me feel better. I'm going to reach for some joy in this moment. And you are retraining your brain against the trauma response. The trauma response is everything is horrible. You are retraining your brain to say, but no, things are beautiful. That no, it's not always horrible. It's not always my life. I am not always having a hard time. I have things that I am so grateful for in my life right this minute. All right. And the best thing about that, I am a little woo-woo. Okay. If you know me, you know. But I feel like when you are in the energy, the mind state of I am so grateful. Look at these wonderful things that I have. That is what you call to you. But if you're in that negative mind space of, oh, this loss that I have and I don't have what I want and it's not going well, that is what you are pulling towards you. You are already in that state when you're traumatized. If you keep feeding that state, you will never get out of it. Your brain will keep doing the exact same thing over and over again. You are the thinker. You have to stop it. And just the act of thinking of something you are grateful for brings you out of that. You go from an attitude of loss to an attitude of gratefulness. What I have versus what I don't have. And then as you focus on that, you bring more of what you have to you. You bring more of the good things to you. I fully believe that that is the way it goes on this planet. The more you focus on the negative, the more negative you get. The more you focus on the positive, the more positive you get. All right. That is what you are telling your brain. And that's not even really woo woo. That is you telling your brain what you want it to do. It is an organ just like every other organ in your body. It has a job to do. It's supposed to do certain things for you, but you can train it. That's the only difference between your brain and your heart. Your heart's going to do the same pumping every single time until it doesn't, okay? But your brain can come up with all sorts of things that change your surroundings, your perception. So if you are constantly informing it of what you want it to be looking for, the things to be grateful for. Your brain will pick up on that, stop looking for the negative, and instead be looking for things to please you. Here, boss, you said you wanted some good stuff. Here, look, this is the wonderful things that are around us right now. Here, this is a great thing that is happening. Look at the things that we can be grateful for in this life. It will train your brain out of the trauma. All right. That's why it's so important. That's why I say it. That's why it's one of the practices I tell you every single week, because I need you to do it. Okay. Get on that. Focus on at least 3 things every morning that you are grateful for. And I'm trying to tell you, it's going to change the way that your brain is working. Okay. The last of the practices for now is a difficult one. It's one that people argue with me on, but I'm telling you for a reason. I'm telling you because it's important, okay? I need you to stop asking him all those questions. All of those questions you were asking about what he did, how he felt, what type of sex it was, what positions, where were you? Did you take her out? Did you love her? Whoa, stop. Okay, I need you to stop. I need you to give that up. Okay, it is a trauma response. And if we are going to battle this trauma, we have to battle against the trauma responses, right? That's the important thing. We've got to stop doing what the trauma wants us to do. And the trauma wants to ask questions, doesn't it? The trauma wants to know, okay? But the problem with that is when it's doing that, what it's doing, the prehistoric thing that it's doing, like we did when we were cave people, is investigating a threat. It is saying, what was that noise? And following behind it, okay? That's what it's doing. It's like, this is the threat. I need to know as much as humanly possible about this threat. Let me bombard it with questions. Let me find out information. That's why the pull to have him GPS tracked is so strong. You're like, oh, but we're just on Life 360 and I'm just watching it 24/7 to see where he is. Okay, that is why it's such a strong pull. It is because it's a fear response. It is, I am scared of this person. I need to find out lots and lots of information about this person. All right, that is not good for you. If it was good for you, I'd say do it, but it's not. It's not good for you. It's reinforcing the fear and the panic in your brain that says that he's a threat, not somebody you love, not somebody you want to be close to again. So if you consistently go about listening to the fear and questioning him like he's a threat, you are actively treating him like a threat. You are actively saying, I do not trust you. I don't want to. I don't want to open back up to you again. I don't want to love you. I don't want to be close to you. I am going to treat you like a perpetrator. I'm the cop. You are the robber. I'm going to interrogate you until you confess. All right. And he can confess, but it's never going to be enough. That's why it's a trauma response. Your brain doesn't care what the actual answers are. That doesn't have anything to do with it. Your brain wants you to just keep on putting yourself at odds. He's over here. I'm over here. I am interrogating him. I am getting these answers out of him. And your brain doesn't give a damn what the answers are. Okay? As important as they said it was. Think about the last thing you were determined he had to answer. If he didn't answer this, you were just never going to heal. It was never going to be all right. You were never going to believe that he ever loved you. Okay, remember that thing? Remember there was a thing before that? Remember there was a thing that it was just as important that he answer this question, and he did finally answer it to your satisfaction, and then there was another question, and then there was another one, and then there was another one. Your brain will not stop doing this until you stop it. Okay. Again, you are the thinker. You are not the thoughts. So you've got to be in control here. You've got to say, hey, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to keep on treating him like a threat, treating him like he's a spider in my room and I got to watch his every move. I am not going to do that anymore. So I want you to stop asking the questions. Now, I understand. I'm with you. I understand that it's an itch. I understand that your brain is saying, I must know the answers. I must know these things. I have to know. All right? I get that. But the thing is, it's not the answers that it wants, it's to ask the question. So if you are having one of those attacks and your brain is itching to ask a question, let me give you something better to do, okay? Try these out. I show this to you every week. Get yourself a deck, okay? Everybody that gets the deck is like, yeah, that was a good investment. I'm glad I got that. $30 on Amazon. It's called The And. TheAnd. All right. It's by the good people at the Skin Deep. And what this game is, this one in particular, is the healing edition. And this one is for healing. It's for reestablishing that connection. And that is what your brain keeps lying to you, saying that it's trying to do, right? It keeps on saying that it wants you to connect with him. That's why I'm asking these questions, because how else can I connect with him again? It'll lie to you and say that. That's not what it's doing. So instead of falling for that, we're going to actually give it questions that could form connection. That's what we're going to do for it, okay? We're going to let our brains have exactly what it says that it wants. So I'll give you a few of these. You only need 2 or 3 of these for like an hour-long conversation. Don't go hog wild. I promise you, it's 199 questions. You probably will never get through the whole thing. I don't think I've been through the whole thing. I give y'all 3 cards every time I come and talk to y'all, and I'm pretty sure I haven't gotten through the whole deck yet. So don't go crazy. 2, 3 cards. Start with that, okay? All right. First thing is, this one says, when do you feel I fail to communicate with you? And what effect does that have on us? Now, this could be one of those ones that you start a fight over. It could be, but it doesn't have to be. This could be a real connection question. If you ask this and you actually hear what he's saying and you actually work on that, you work on where you are failing to communicate, isn't that going to make communication better? Isn't that going to make the connection more established between you? I think so. All right. When do you feel I fail to communicate with you? And what effect does that have on us? You might be surprised. You might be absolutely surprised about the areas that he's like, you don't communicate about X, Y, and Z. And you're going to be like, oh, shit, he noticed that? You're going to be shocked. You're going to be shocked by some of these answers, okay? This one says, why do you think I'm here? That's deep right there. I love that one. Why do you think I'm here? Excellent question. Don't you want to hear the answer to that more than you want to hear about this affair that he had that has devastated you? Wouldn't you want to have a connection question instead of an isolation question, a question that's going to push you away from him? I would think, right? I love mine. So, I like the questions where we can connect. I like those. Why do you think I'm here? I don't think I've ever gotten this one before. That's an excellent one. And then one more. What have I never heard you say? That's an interesting question. I like that one. What have I never heard you say? Isn't that interesting? Oh, I have to really think on that one. If I think about my honey, I'm going to ask him. He's going to say I never say I'm wrong, but I do say I'm wrong. But what have I never heard you say? I'm gonna remember that one. We're going to talk about that later. All right. I'm going to ask him. All right. But these are better questions than the ones that you were wanting to ask, right? The questions that have been devastating you, the questions that every time he answers, it makes you feel even worse, the questions that don't actually help anything, they just make you feel more sorry and sad. Yeah, let's stop doing that. Okay? I need you to stop asking the questions. Period. Okay? You with me? Are you understanding what I'm saying? You put it in the comments if you are like, no, absolutely not, Dasha. This is crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. These practices, I can't even do these. Let me know if you feel like you just can't handle it. You couldn't do it. You couldn't stop asking the questions if you tried. Like, tell me about All right. So, over the last couple of days, all right, I made up a new thing. Okay. I was sitting here and I was trying to explain it, and I had to sit down and really write it down and map it out. I was trying to tell somebody that there are a whole bunch of different ways that you could stay. You're staying now. You're with me because that's what you're doing. You're with me because you're staying, okay? I wanted to figure out like what are the different paths of staying, the different things, the different ways that you could go about it, and then like what happens if you go that path. Okay, what happens if you go that way? Because I've seen a lot of different paths. People stay in all types of different ways, but I want you to be on my path. Okay, my dreams formula is the path to stay and heal. All right, to actually heal yourself. Okay. That is what I want for you more than anything. But there are other ways to do it. Okay. Now, first, if you haven't got my dreams formula, make sure that you go get it. It's in my link in my bio. It's in the top of the Love After Cheating group. You can find it. It's everywhere. Okay. Go ahead, click on that link, give me your name and your email. You will get it immediately on the next page. All right. But let's see. Look at you, girl. He said, I try not to ask questions, but it's just something in me that has to know. It's the trauma. That's what it is. It is the trauma. You are listening to your trauma and doing what it tells you to do. And I get that it is a very strong, because it's a survival instinct, okay? But this is not what we want for our relationships. We don't want to be in survival mode in our relationships. That's not going to work. It's never going to work. That's not how that goes. You have to be able to relax with this person. You have to be able to let go with this person. And you are treating them like somebody you have to know everything about right this second, because they're going to hurt you if you don't. And if you keep treating him like that, try and remind yourself of that. When your brain is like, I got to answer these questions. Why? Why do you need to know so bad? Why are you asking him a question that you probably know the answer to, and is just going to hurt your feelings if he answers it the way you think he's going to answer? Why do you need to know that again? And your brain will come up with all these different responses, but the fact is they keep being different responses. So it's not actually like a need. It's not something that actually has to know. It is your body and your brain treating him like a threat and saying that I have to know about the threat. If you say, no, he's not a threat, no, we're not going to treat him like that, your brain has to stop that. But you have to be consistent about it. You have to tell your brain that's what you want it to do and then not ask the question. That's why I give you the alternative of using those cards, because then you have asked the question, you have scratched that itch a little bit, because it is something in you. It feels like I call it an itch. It feels like a compulsive thing. I gotta scratch it. But there are times when scratching the itch is bad for your skin, bad for you. You can't, if you got chicken pox, you can't scratch. You can't sit there and be scratching all your skin off. Okay. So, yeah, just because your body is signaling you something does not mean you have to do it. Okay. Your body can signal all sorts of stuff, and it can be random. Your body can just go ahead and tell you to do something and you're supposed to listen to it. No, you are in charge. Just because it's something inside this body is like, oh, I gotta know. You're like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Cut that out. Sit down. Calm down. This is unnecessary. You're being extra. And control yourself. Tell your body what you need it to do and stop letting it lead you around, because that's what it's doing. That's what we're doing when we're in this traumatized state, when we are following this trauma around, being led. We are letting it do what it wants, controlling us. It's not helpful. Okay? Well, that makes sense. All right. So the staying. Okay. So I want you to get this quiz from me. Okay. I'm gonna tell you about the different ways that you could stay, but I want you to take the quiz. All right, because I made it a quiz. All right, that's what I've been doing over the last like 36 hours. I've been sitting here trying to figure out how to make a quiz, and then actually doing the quiz. So I put this together. I am super proud of it. Okay. So I can't wait to show it to you. If you're on my email list, you already got it. You already got the link for it. If you're on my email list, go check your email. It's in there. Okay. But I'm going to tell you about what we got going on here. All right. There are 5 different paths that you could take if you're staying. You don't have to stay and heal. People think that, oh, just because I'm staying, that means that I'm healing. That is not what is happening. You have to actively heal. Okay. You've got to actually do the work. You've got to recognize the feelings inside your body and inside your brain that are not the way you were before this trauma. Take those things and pluck them out. Stop letting them have their way with you and make it a different way. That is what the healing is. You got to actually change these things. So when you're staying in healing, like, what does that look like? That looks like, yes, you're in pain some of the time, but you're looking at it. You're facing it. You're not running from it. You're actively working on it. All right. You've chosen that you want to stay. And yes, that may give you a little doubt sometime. It may stress you out, but for real, you have already made the decision. You've already chosen. You're building up the tools to start regulating your emotions. Remember, I told you it's the devastation phase, and then after that, we're regulating. We've got to get up off the floor. We've got to stop being in a pile. We've got to gather up all our stuff and put it back in our pocket so we can get up on our feet without obstacles throwing us back down to the ground. That's regulating. You are getting the tools. You're with me. You're practicing the things that I'm telling you. You've talked to me. You are actively trying not to be devastated anymore. Okay. You're trying to connect. You're trying to grow. All sorts of good stuff. And you're allowing that love that you feel, you're starting to let it come through. You're treating him like you love him again. You are on the healing path. Now, if you don't choose that, you're just going to keep hurting. All right. The time is going to pass, but your trauma is just going to stay stuck. It's not going to go anywhere because you haven't actually worked on making it go anywhere, because it is automatic. What you are feeling is the same thing that every other woman watching me is feeling when they have been cheated on. It is a physical thing that happens to you. It is a trauma response. Your bodies and your brains all do the exact same thing. Mine did too, just like yours. That's how I know how you feel. That's how I know how everybody feels, because everybody goes through the exact same thing. So this is automatic. This is something that happens no matter what. We can't help it. So if you don't actively try and stop it, guess what happens? It goes on automatically. Okay. So we've got to recognize that it's an automatic thing and put a stop to it. All right. And then, like, if you don't heal, you just never feel safe again. You just sit there in survival mode and freak yourself out about the ways that you could be hurt forever. And that sounds like hell to me. It does. I remember how it felt when it sucked, and when I was feeling like I will never be loved again, and he never could have loved me. I remember, okay? I remember that feeling. That's hell. I don't want to be stuck there. I don't want you to be stuck there, okay? Then there's another way you can stay. You could stay and you could pretend to heal. Okay, you could be an actress, the performer. All right, you could be on stage. You look good. All right, you look excellent on the outside, but inside you're breaking apart. Okay, you go through the motions of, oh, everything is fine. Not of actually healing. You're not going through the motions of healing, because if you go through the motions of healing, guess what? You'll start to heal. Okay. If you do the motion, that's why I keep telling you to do the things that I'm telling you to do. Because if you do those things, even if you don't mean it, your body and your brain will start to respond. Okay. But you are not doing that. If you're the performer, you are not processing this pain because you are trying to pretend like everything is all right. You are trying to go ahead and do all your things and take care of the kids and pretty much be kind of the same wife that you were to him before, but you're not really. You're still holding back on something. But then if he addresses it, then you're like, okay, fine, I'll do it. Like there's no joy in it anymore. There's no joy in the being of a partner for you anymore. It's just smile and try and get through this performance. Okay. Um, it's numbness, is what it is. So what happens if you do that? All right, you're gonna burn out. You are gonna burn out emotionally. You are gonna keep on trying to run on these fumes and never actually heal the trauma that is going on inside your body while continuing to just maintain on the outside. You're gonna burn yourself right out, right on it. Okay. You're gonna start resenting him because why are you made me do this, you made me have to be like this, I have to pretend like everything is okay now just for my family to be together, for me to be with the person that I love and I thought I was going to grow up with. Now you're making me do this. Okay. Or you could be resentful of yourself. You can say, I don't even know why I did this, I should have just left him, I don't know why in the world I decided to go ahead and stay and pretend like everything was all right. It's not all right. And you can resent both of you. You could do both. All right. And resentfulness is like the key number one factor to people not being together anymore. If you start resenting somebody and you're resenting yourself at the same time, you're not gonna have the love. You're not gonna have space for it. So that's a key factor in you're not gonna make it together if you resent this person. Okay. So it's a matter of feeling like really it's what the trauma wants. The trauma wants you to be isolated and disconnected, and that's what you're doing. The trauma says put this wall up, just do the regular things and act like you're all right, but keep this wall up, stay behind it, keep yourself away from this person. And nobody really understands what's going on inside you. You are performing and looking a certain way, but inside you are a completely different way and nobody else gets it. All right. I get it. Okay. I do understand. I get it. I tried this way too. The third way is you stay and you don't heal. Yeah, you just don't. You just give up. I'm not gonna even try and feel better. I know this was such a horrible betrayal. I shall never feel better again. And plenty of people do that. I can't understand that one. I get the despair that comes along and makes you want to do that, but I have seen a whole bunch of women just be in that despair, like, well, this is where I live now. Since this bad thing happened to me, I can never be happy again. I'm just gonna have to stay right here and be miserable for the rest of my life. And that again looks like hell. I don't want to do that. I don't want no parts of that. I don't want you to have any parts of that. You're staying for other reasons, more than the fact that you really want to. You're staying because of the kids. You're staying because you don't have the finances to be able to leave. You staying because you think that leaving is harder. Like, some people stay because like it's harder because I have to split up my time with my kids and I don't want to have to do that. All sorts of reasons that you could be staying, and I'm just the resigned survivor is what we're calling it. Is I'm here, but I'm never gonna be all right again. And I don't want you to feel like that. I don't want you to think that that's the way that life has to be. You can start doing the actions of healing, and you will start healing. But if you don't do anything, man, you're gonna be disconnected like that long term. You're not going to be able to connect with much of anybody because each and every time you do it, it's going to remind you of the trauma of opening up to somebody. If I open up to somebody, I could be hurt again. And it's going to shut you right back down. You are still kind of like passively punishing him. You feel like you're not really. You feel like, oh no, I'm not punishing him. I'm still doing the things, but you're not doing anything with any joy. You have taken away all of the light and the connection from the relationship. You've taken all that away. That's gone. All right. and then you're actively punishing them. That's not even passive either. That is actively punishing the other person, because how dare you make me feel like this, and I resent you, so I'm going to keep on punishing you like this, holding myself away from you, but I'm right here. Okay. The worst part about this is because you are constantly in this traumatized state, constantly in this survival mode, that is hard on your body. Okay. People just live with chronic anxiety now like it's no big deal, but it's hard on you. It makes your heart work harder. It makes your brain lose blood flow. There are all sorts of things that physically happen in your body as a result of this stress. You increase your stress hormones called cortisol. You're increasing that. That is what gives you the belly fat. That see, if we got high cortisol level, the belly fat's gonna be off the chain. All right. It is actively breaking down your body to just be like, I survived it, but I'm never gonna heal from it. I'm just gonna drag these wounds around with me and infected for the rest of my life. If you start with that type of wound on your psyche, it's going to develop in your body. You will be hurt physically by that. All right. That's why that's like one of the worst ones is you're staying, but you are choosing misery. All right. And even if you stay together, let's say by some miracle you stay together for the next 25 years, you're still not gonna love them anymore. That love is just gonna quietly die, slowly being suffocated because you have decided on misery. All right. We can't do that. I want you to do better than that. I want you to be better than that. Okay. I don't want you to just be out here looking like you're in the apocalypse. Okay. I need you to survive and thrive, not just survive. Okay. The next one is if you stay and you try to fix him. Because he's the problem here. There's something wrong with him. And if I fix him, then I'll be safe and I'll be healed. That's not how that works. Okay. The fixers want to fix him, want to figure out, make him go to therapy and make him talk to them in marriage counseling and just constantly looking at you. What is happening with you? We can fix it if you do the work. And so you're investing, you're doing work, but you're doing work on the wrong person. You're the one who's hurt. You're the one who is struggling, but you are focusing all your energies upon healing him. And then if he heals, then maybe I can heal. Okay, first of all, you're putting yourself second. That's the first thing. I can't stand that. Don't do that. You, even in these relationships, I am very much pro relationship. I am very much pro love. I get it and all, but I want you to take care of you first. Okay. I, in no way, shape, or form am I ever saying to you that he should come first in your care. Okay. I am not saying that. Absolutely not. I don't want you to do that. I want you to be first in your care because you're the person who has to take care of this body. All right. You're the one who has to take care of this. So if you don't do it, who's going to do it? We just going to wait for him to do it? We know he having problems. So how can we get him to do it? That means my things are being neglected. There's things that I could be fixing for me that are being neglected. All right. So yeah, you're focusing on his healing. You're constantly feeling like you got to check his phone and manage his behavior and figure out his mood and be his warden. You don't have to do that. Again, putting all of your energy onto taking care of him, figuring him out, giving him healing. All right. That's not going to heal you. You're still going to be in the same place. If you right now could wave a wand and you could make him all better, everything that's wrong with him, everything that was wrong and hurting in him that made him make such a stupid mistake and cheat on you in the first place, if you could wave that wand and change all of that right now, that still doesn't take away your trauma. It doesn't change what is happening inside your body, inside your brain. It just fixed him. Now you are stuck struggling. All right. So we got to be aware that we are not responsible for their growth, their relapse, nothing. We're not responsible for any of that. We're responsible for our own. Okay. If you start doing this, you're going to lose your center. You are not going to remember that you are the center of your own universe, and you are going to try and make him the center, and that is going to throw your whole universe out of whack. Okay. Um, if you are measuring his progress as your safety, but your body and your brain are still alarming all the time, you're never going to think any of his progress is good enough. You are never going to believe that. He could be doing all of the things, but it's still not going to heal that inside you. Okay. And then you end up exhausted and resentful, and then he improves and he's doing better, he's doing the things, and you're like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted him to do, and you don't give a damn because you have worn yourself out and you don't care anymore. You don't want it from him anymore because you spent all of your time trying to fix him instead of healing him to be able to meet him once he's healed his own stuff. All right. Oh, does that make sense? Let me know. Then we got the last of the paths that you could take. You could stay in limbo. You could stay on the fence. You could wander, okay? You just haven't committed either way. You are staying, but you actually haven't committed to staying. Does that make sense? You have stayed, but you haven't committed to staying. You haven't made up your mind that that's what you're doing. You just happen to be here. Didn't seem like you wanted to move out, so you're just here. All right. One day you're feeling hopeful. You're like, yeah, everything is going to be good. This relationship is going to work out. And then some days you're like, I have got to run away. I am never going to make it. This relationship is never going to make it. I don't know what I was thinking. All right. You will be constantly looking for the road signs as you are wandering, as you are in that limbo. You're going to be constantly looking for the sign, the thing, what is going to help me decide to stay, what is going to help me make it solid inside my chest that I am staying, that this is going to work out, or what is going to make it solid that I'm just out of here. I am just done with this and I don't want to be here anymore. I got to find a sign. I got to look around. Maybe if I can find that, I can figure this out. All right. And the problem with that, okay, you could be doing that, so you're constantly figuring out whether the sign is to stay or go. The problem with that is you look like a psycho. Okay, you are in front of him, changing your mind on an hourly basis. You look like, oh, I love you so much and I really want to work this out. And you look like, you fucking bastard, I'll never love you and I'll never trust you again. You can't do both. You look crazy, okay? You look like a lunatic. I'm a Gemini, okay? I was stuck here for a minute. I looked crazy, okay? I looked like I had bipolar disorder, all right? I looked like it was me because I was so back and forth about what I wanted to do. It made me look like I was nuts, okay? You got to understand that that's what you're doing. You're just giving him emotional whiplash. You're giving yourself emotional whiplash, back and forth, back and forth. You don't know which end is up by the time all that happens. And so that means that you can't bond. You can't rebuild. You're always halfway out the door, so you can't actually take care of the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't actually reconnect on any real good foundational level because my foot is out the door. My foot is over there. I might be here in your face for a second, but my foot is creeping towards the door as we speak. And then, like, you feel tortured, like the indecision is killing you, because even when it's good, Even when it's good, you're still looking for the sign that you should leave and that it's going to all be bad. So now you're stuck. Now you have no idea what you actually need to do because even in the good times, you're all over the place. You have no idea where you're going. All right. So, all of those, you let me know in the comments. Let me know what you're doing right now. Let me know which one of these sounds the most like where you are because you can go through all of these phases. You can go through all of these paths. But the one path that I want you to stick to is I am staying and I am healing. That is the path that I am on. I'm going to act like that. I'm going to do the actions of that and I'm going to just do it. I'm going to make up my mind to do it, go through and actually do the motions of healing. And then as I go ahead and get to a certain place, it's going to come clearer. Things are going to be easier, but you got to start. All right. Keisha, you said, I think I'm all over. I get it. I get it. I've been through all of them. I get through all of them, but that's why I made a quiz. See, that's why I got that. All right. Um, hold on. Let me put it. I'm gonna put it in the. Oh shoot. Well, as a matter of fact, it's in your email right now. I know you have my email, Keisha. But anybody else that's here, let me put it in the comments. I want you to take the quiz for me, see what you get, and message me or email me and tell me what you got. And if you feel like, okay, yeah, that's where I am. All right. It is an excellent way to figure out exactly where you are and then exactly what you need to do to not be there anymore. All right. So hold on one second, copy that link and into the comments it goes. All right. So yes, make sure that you are clicking on that link. And that is my quiz, my brand new quiz. If you're staying, 5 hidden paths of women who stay after betrayal. All right. That is what the name of the quiz is. That was a ChatGPT name, but that's okay. That's all right. You know, I was trying to think of a good name for it. I was like, yes, that's exactly what it is. Because we're always on the healing path here, right? And I want you to understand that there are other paths in these woods. Okay, that is what the problem is that you are going to have as you are trying to heal. There are other paths in the woods that make it seem like you're starting to heal, but actually won't get you out of the woods. There are 4 other ones besides the one that leads you out, the one that leads you back home again. So I want you to take the one that leads you back home again. That's why I want you to get the dreams formula, follow exactly what it's saying, do the things, act like this is important to you, act like this is something that you really, really want for yourself, and then do the things. When you do the things, you are telling your body and your brain that you are safe, you know what the hell you're doing, and it's all right. You are going to be fine. Everything is going to be great. All right? So if you have my email, if you don't have my email, send me a message and just send me your email and your first name. Don't put that in the comments, but just message me. Send me a message with your email and your first name, and I will send you all of my emails. All right, you'll have me in your inbox. And a matter of fact, you're gonna be seeing a lot more of me in your inbox too if you are on my email list. So hey, look, be looking out for me. I got lots of things coming. I want you to heal. I want you on this particular path to stay and heal, not to stay in limbo, not to wander, not to be acting, and not to what's the last one? And not to try and fix him. All right. We are working on the stay and the heal. All right. All right, y'all. I'll talk to you about that. If you're not on my email list, why not on my email list? Girl, get on my email list. I don't know what you're doing if you're not on it. If you're here on the replay, of course, hashtag replay. Let me know that you were here. All right, got that. Okay. The last thing that I'm going to talk to you about is the last of the practices. Remember, we did ones at the very beginning. We did our deep breathing. We did our journaling. We did our gratitude practice. and we stopped asking all those questions. Okay, I got one more for you. The 5 practices. I need to put that down, don't I? I'm gonna have that for you next time. I'm gonna have a PDF for you of the 5 practices next time we speak. All right. Because I'm making things. I'm loving Canva. I love Canva. Honey, I feel like a graphic designer when I'm in Canva. And I love sending out stuff in email. So watch out for that. But the 5th of the practices is to say your daily affirmation. Okay. I need you to jump on that. I need you to stop hesitating on that. I need you to start believing good things about you. Okay. If we can't start doing that, what is the point of all this? If you are not the radiant queen, then why are we trying so hard to work this out? We got to be that. We've got to fully embody that. And the best way to do that is to remind yourself of exactly who you are through your affirmations. Okay. I need you to practice this all through the day. All right. First thing in the morning when you wake up, as often as you think a negative thought about yourself, say the affirmation. See, don't you say it all day. See, don't you just be saying this affirmation time after time after time. If you say it every single solitary time you think a negative thought about yourself, I bet you'll say a lot of affirmations that day, because your mind is always telling you something bad about yourself. If you pay attention to what the thoughts are, a lot of the time it will tell you something negative about yourself and you just let it pass. If you stop letting it pass, if you stop letting your brain get away with that, talking shit about you like you're somebody off the street, then you will start to change what your brain is doing. Don't let it get away with that. Immediately correct it with a positive thought about yourself, okay? So I will give you one, but if you need them every day, hey, look, I still got my affirmation service. You can get affirmations to your email every single solitary day for 90 days. Affirmations and journal prompts, all right? And an encouraging message from me every single day. That is $44 right this second. Message me about it. You can get affirmations every day without even having to worry about it. All right. But I want you to say your affirmations. Now, when you say your affirmations, I need you to look yourself in the eye and I need you to say it like you mean it. Okay. Don't be humming and hawing and acting like you don't really know if it's really you or not. Lie. Lie. Okay. If you don't feel it, if you're just like, no, that's not really how I feel about myself, imagine you're somebody else and lie. Okay. Say it anyway and say it with conviction. Say it like you are trying to make this person believe it. Okay. I saw an interesting thing the other day, calling your brain by a different name. That, I think that is some brilliance. Okay. Because your brain is like a separate entity. And yes, they're all brain, but what if it's Keisha brain? Or you know, not for you, Keisha, but I'm saying like it's Shauna brain, you know what I'm saying? Or Kitty brain. I don't know. Whatever you want it to be. Whatever name that you feel describes your brain, make it be that and then talk to that. Does that make sense? I don't have a name for mine, but I'll call her Goddess. All right, Goddess. Oh, I love you so, so much. You are the best and the brightest of women on this planet. All right. I'm telling her. All right. Do that for yourself. Try that out. And when you're saying your affirmations, address your brain like it is a different entity and give yourself those affirmations. I bet your brain believes it then. When you're talking directly to it and saying good things about it, I bet you'll receive the message then. All right. So today's affirmation is today I will look ahead. Ooh, today I will see my future. It is beautiful life I'm looking forward to. Absolutely. I am all for that. That has been my thing, is trying to visualize the life that I want and moving in that direction. The same things that I tell you now apply to that. If you apply what I'm telling you to put yourself and to think real hard about the thing that you want and then act like you've already got it. How would you be? How would you behave? How would you think if you already had the thing? Picture it real good. Look for your future. Look ahead. Today you'll look ahead and see what that is, and then pick a trait, something that you did in that future that you're praying for, and do that thing now. Because there's nothing stopping you. Okay? Time is an illusion. All right. Then and now doesn't matter. You can start it right now, and then it will happen then. All right. So go ahead and start right now. One thing that your future self would do, that if you were all happy and all healed up, do what that future person would do. All right. So today I will look ahead. Today I will see the future. It is a beautiful life I'm looking forward to. Believe that, all right? Because it is. I am coming to you from the future. Isn't it interesting? I got that, and I was saying that at the very beginning. I am speaking to you from the future. I am telling you this can be your future. You can be happy. You can have let it go. You can feel like you don't have to track him everywhere he's going. You don't have to see everything that's going on his phone. You don't have to do it anymore. There is a path forward. I am telling you, this is the future that you can have. Put it in the comments. What's the future like for you? What is it that you want to have happen? And I will shout you out about that next week. All right. So that's about it. That's all I got for you. So let's review. Let's do the practices. The practices are: do your deep breathing, do your journaling, practice gratitude, stop asking all those questions, and do your affirmations. And more than any of those, and that's what is basically what we're doing when we're doing those, is we are not listening to the fear and the pain. Don't listen to what the fear and the pain tell you to do. That's the wrong direction. That is the actions of, I am hurting. Let me do what the fear and the pain are telling me to do while I'm hurting. It's not going to stop you from hurting. It's going to create more hurting. All right. For you, for him, all those around you, it doesn't matter. It's going to create more hurt. If you listen to what the fear and the pain say, if you do what the love says, if you do what the forgiveness and the compassion and the understanding and the happy you in your future, if you do what they say, guess what you're going to get? The things that happy you get. Okay. So follow that rule every single day as you're trying to heal this week. And I promise you, you are going to make it to a better place. You're going to be on the healing path. Okay. All right. That's it. That's all I got for you. Make sure you take the quiz. I'm about to put it in the bio on Instagram. I don't think I did that. I'm gonna do that. But go and check out the quiz. Take that for me real quick. Let me know if you like it as much as I do. If you feel like, oh my gosh, she got me, nailed it. All right. Let me know if you're like, yes, that was perfect. Or if it didn't hit you at all. If you're like, no, I didn't get what I thought I was gonna get. Let me know. Okay. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me for the Healing Hour Live. I love you, and I'm so, so proud of you for staying. And I'll be even prouder of you when you're healing. Okay? Even if you're fixing now, even if you are wandering now, if you're staying, I'm proud of you, and I will be even more proud of you as you are doing the work of healing. Okay? I promise I will. All right, y'all. That's it. I will see you again next week, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Healing Hour Live. Bye, y'all. Bye, Instagram. And bye over here on YouTube and Facebook. Oh, you're welcome, Keisha. She said another great live. I feel like it was a great live. I did. Oh, I love having new stuff to tell y'all. All right. I'll see you later. Bye.